I was very proud of our football team and the way that they competed, the way they continued to battle to the end of that game. I think, obviously, Ohio State is a great opponent, a team that's got a chance to do some great things throughout the year, just the way I feel about our football team. I think we have a chance to be an outstanding football team. This one game is not going to define us, obviously. I thought defensively we played lights out, probably the best that I've seen us play defensively since I've been here. So offensively, you can't turn the ball over as many times as we did and expect to win games, especially big games against the type of opponent we were playing. So we've got work to do, obviously, still on both sides of the ball in special teams, but I think we are pushing towards the right goal. And, again, it's game 2, working on game 3. We've got a great opponent in North Carolina A&T that's coming in here that were actually 10-2 last year, won the Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl. Coach Broadway's done a great job with his program, and they've won a ton of games no matter where he's been. So got our hands full this week. We need to get back on the practice field and go to work and get prepared.
Just to address this and get it out of the way, how do you, as a coach, balance the whole freedom of speech thing with what people are doing pregame with the team element?
Yeah, it's obviously a tough issue. And I think, first off, for me personally, I have a ton of respect, and so does our university and our football team. I have a ton of respect for the men and women of our armed forces and our military and what they have fought to protect and to serve. I've got family members that have served our country and fought in wars and done all of that. And my hat is off to them and to the men and women that are doing it right now. Keanu and I have sat down and we visited. I'll visit with our team this afternoon about it, and we'll go from there. It's a very hot topic right now, and it's a tough situation for a lot of different people. And so it's something that we don't take, without caution to. So we'll deal with it and we'll move on from there, and that's about it.
I'll just follow up on that real fast. Obviously, it's unusual to have a situation when the players are out there for the national anthem. Was that something you were even aware of, that possibility happening, or something you had talked about? To be completely honest, I knew we were going to be out there for the national anthem. Never once did it cross my mind that this might happen. Obviously, I didn't even find out about it until after the game was over. Our team was down there huddled up and praying. And I was actually on the other end, still coming out of the tunnel, just on the other side of the team box. So I didn't find out about it until afterwards. So more times than not, no, we are not out on the field during the national anthem. That wasn't really my question, so I'm not giving up the microphone. You mentioned the defense being the best that you've seen. When you evaluate how the defense has played through 2 games, is there anything specific you can attribute their play to? Obviously, they're hungry to improve, but is there anything specific? It seems like every position is better.
I really think our defensive staff, in conjunction with Coach Young and Coach Norwood, obviously, really coming back in after last season. Because you got to think last season we were trying to kind of mesh 2 defenses together, with ideas that Coach Young was bringing in, ideas that Coach Norwood was bringing in, and everybody else in the staff room. And so when you're putting those 2 things together, being able to kind of make the best of both of them work, coming back in the spring, I think they had a chance to really watch all the tape from last year, be able to cut down on some verbiage, make some things easier, make our checks better. And I think just being year 2 in our defense, our guys understand what we're trying to accomplish from a defensive side, and being able to really line up, recognize what's going on, and be able to play downhill and trigger on things. I think that has allowed us to be a much faster and a more explosive type defense. So, again, coaches have done a great job, but the players have done a great job of really studying and being in tune to what we're trying to do from a schematic standpoint, how we attack people.
You mentioned talking to Keanu about it. Did you kind of understand where he's coming from through that conversation?
Well, my conversation with him is obviously going to stay between he and I. But what I did try to present to him, and you can ask any of my players, there'll be two of them up here in a minute. My door's always open, and I'm going to actually listen to what you have to say. You know, it's not going to be a closed type of environment. I'm going to listen to what you got to say, and we're both going to sit in there, and we're going to talk as men, and we'll work through whatever issues that we have. I'm going to be honest and upfront with them on the way I stand and see things, and I want them to do the same with me. I think if you'll have that type of relationship, I think we live in a country that we have to respect people's choices, and we have to respect feelings as they come across. And I think if we're genuine with each other, those things take care of themselves.
It looked like he had a heck of a ball game. Can you talk about how, you know, in a short amount of time he's been able to?
He's been an outstanding player for us. You know, he's done a great job the 2 games that he's played, as well as the rest of everybody else on our defense. We've had guys being able to come in and play, and when you go and recruit a junior college corner, more times than not, you're not bringing junior college kids in to sit and wait. You're bringing them in to help you with an area that you feel like that we need a little boost in. And so he's done a good job of being able to come in and pick up what we're doing defensively and step in and play. And he plays with a lot of passion and a lot of heart.
I would imagine there was more anger as far as emotions from the players were concerned after that game in Columbus, maybe even more so than, you know, OU or anything last year, just because the scoreboard looked the way it was, and maybe the players feeling like that wasn't a true representation of what we can do. Would I be correct?
Yeah, I think you're exactly on point with that. I mean, obviously, at a minimum, you know, you go in 13-3. You know, when you go in 20-3, you know, a lot of things happened there in the last 3 minutes that really kind of took us out of the football game. But there's things in the first half that we could have made plays on and made different situations or had a call go our way here or there that could have changed the course of it too. So I thought both sides of us all the way across the board went in with a good plan. You know, obviously I don't think the score is a great indication of how the football game was. So obviously very disappointed, very hurt. I think our guys really went into it with the mindset that we wanted to, with the idea we're going in here to win and expecting to win against an outstanding, traditionally strong program. But our guys believed in what they were fixing to do. And so when it doesn't work out that way, obviously you're hurt and disappointed. But the flip side of it is it's football season, and we've got a big game coming up this Saturday that we have to be ready for. I mean, they just beat Kent State at their place in 4 overtimes. So an extremely quality opponent. And if you're sitting here worried about last week, we're not going to be ready for this week.
Coach Montgomery, you talked to it, but at the end of the first half, when you have a couple interceptions, looking back on it in hindsight, do you feel that you may have been a little over-aggressive, and then going forward, do you still think you should still keep that same aggression if you're put in a situation like that?
Yeah, the very first pick, actually the second pick, that was just a play where we didn't execute. We didn't have our eyes in the right spot, and what we had called, I still think was a good call. Again, I think, Hooker, number 24, made an outstanding play on that ball. As a quarterback, being in those situations, and you can see it last night, and you can see it every Sunday. The safety coming from the backside hash, and as flat and fast as he was coming, you're never going to see him in your line of sight. But if we stay locked into what we need to, we're just fine, and we probably pick up 8 to 10 yards.